Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Naturally Inspired, also known as Anisha or vice versa. So today I want to do a video on not only how I refresh my twists, but also how I finger detangle my hair. So my twists have been in for a month, and basically after washing my hair, I have started redoing my twists. And what I do is I section off 4 sections, and I just retwist 1 section per day. So if you look at my hair, I have the back of my hair here, which is already done, and that's taken me 2 days because, like I said, I take my time with it. And this one is looking good and fresh. And then I have these 2 sections, which after 4 weeks, this is what it looks like. So it's not too bad. It's still holding moisture, but it's not as neat as I would like it to be. So I thought, let me just come on camera as you do and show you how I refresh my twists, but also most importantly how I finger detangle my hair. Because if you've watched me for a while, you'll know that I haven't used a comb in my hair for I want to say 3 years. And in my previous video I mentioned that I think that is one of the things that has helped me with my length retention. So this is the section I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to do all of it on camera. I'm probably just going to do 1 or 2 twists on camera just to show you what to do. Each twist, the process of detangling, removing, detangling and then reinstalling it takes about 5 minutes, I want to say 5 to 10 minutes, because finger detangling can be a bit tedious, especially if I haven't detangled my hair for a month now, and I want to make sure I get all the shed hairs out. And I think this is my most thorough detangling session when my hair's in twists, because it helps me to get in there and actually remove everything. And I just think it's a godsend for me, really. I would normally do this when I'm watching TV, when I'm relaxed, so it doesn't even feel like I'm doing anything. And I'm just taking my twist out after it's been in for a month. I just basically twist in the opposite direction, and I will come across things like that where it's caught, and I will just gently pull that apart. Again, you can see over there, so I'll just pull downwards and it will loosen up. Okay, so it's now separated. So what I want to do is I want to get each individual twist, and I'm just pulling it in the direction, opposite direction from the way it's actually formed. And starting from the bottom, I just again continue to separate first, because what I want to do first is loosen it without adding any product. So I keep pulling downwards. As you can imagine, it's clumped and caught together because it's been in the same state and style for a whole month. And in that same style, I've washed it, so it's further matted together, and I've moisturized it. So I keep doing that until it is completely loose. At the same time, I'm using my thumb to pull downwards. And when I come across one of these parts, I just pull downwards, and it almost always separates the actual twist for you. So as you can see, this one is more or less combed through, but not thoroughly. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing with this one. So gently pulling apart at the top and using my thumb to pull downwards as I separate. So like so. I think with this kind of video, it's more helpful when you can visually see it. So I may not be explaining it properly, but if you can just watch what I'm doing. So I'm basically separating as much as I can before I introduce any kind of product. Okay, so once I'm happy that it's completely separated, I go ahead and introduce water in order for me to remove the shed hairs. Because right now I've only got about one or two of them out, and I wouldn't say my hair is thoroughly finger detangled, because when I'm combing through, like so, I am able to remove. You want little bits of shed hairs. So what you want to do at this point is introduce your product. For me, what I do, I don't have a spray bottle, so I'm using this little water bottle. But what I do is I just get a little bit of water. That's not a little bit of water, but a little bit. And starting from that ends and taking it up to the roots, I just introduce that into my hair. And as usual, I don't want my hair to get wet. I just want it to get a little bit damp. So I keep doing that. And as you can see, the hair is starting to be released just with the introduction of the water. So I'm just going to put a little bit more. Okay, so I've come across one which is really clamped together right here. If you can see that. And that's where a shed hair is actually trapped over here. So what I'm going to do is individually, I'm going to remove pieces of hair. So one by one. This is one that where it can get a bit tedious. I'm going to remove a strand of hair each until I'm able to remove that shed hair. So that is the shed hair that is trapped and doesn't want to come out, and I am basically just removing one hair at a time until now it is ready. See? So that was trying to stay in the hair, and I just keep doing that. And once you get the hang of it, it's very straightforward. It might look like it's a lot of work, but it's really not. Once you get the hang of it, it's just, you do it while you're watching TV, while you're relaxing, and yeah, you can get it done. Like I said, I aim to do 10 a day just because I only have, someone asked me this actually, I only have 37 twists in my head in total, so that's all I chose to do just so it could be easier and quicker. So I have 37, so if I do 10 for the first 3 days and 7 the following day, it's so much easier. And again, I'm just separating with my hands and then just pulling downwards to remove shed hairs. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I will then go and get some oil. And I've just put a bit on the tips of my fingers, and again, starting from the bottoms and working my way up, I'm pulling downwards. And the oil allows the shed hair to further be released, and I find that it's really helpful. Yeah, so I had to pause because my son just walked in. But yeah, so I find that the oil is amazing at removing more shed hairs, and it causes a nice slip. You can choose whatever oil that you want to use, but it's just amazing, and it just makes the whole process a lot easier. And you can see I've managed to get a lot more just by adding the oil to the whole mix. So to make sure that the hair is fully detangled, I then use my fingers, so these fingers, as if you were combing your hair with a comb. So this then becomes my tool, and I just use it to comb through. Yeah, and while I'm doing that, I'm pulling downwards so that whatever hair has been released is coming out along with the twist. So again, I'm separating and combing. Trust everything to happen for when you're recording. So that was my fire alarm, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so I'm happy that this section is fully detangled. I'm able to comb through both from the front and the back. And so I'm happy that I've removed the shed hairs. The next step is to go ahead and retwist it. So I separate the strands, and then if you saw in my previous video on how to loose twists, I just go ahead and do the same process. So tightly twisting at the beginning, and then loosely twisting at the end. And I'm always pulling downwards again in order to remove any shed hairs that are still trapped in there. Right, once I get maybe 2 or 3 inches to the end, I introduce my shea butter. I don't put the shea butter close to my scalp. I put it right at the end. I introduce that, and then I twist almost to the end until I just go ahead and twirl like so. And that is it. This is a fresh twist which will now stain for another month. So I just put it in the section with the twists that are done, and that's it, guys. That is how you finger detangle your hair. I hope it helps. If you have any further questions, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and do another one, and I'll see you again in my next video. I don't want to make this too long like I always do. But I hope it was helpful. Please go ahead and rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Take care. Bye. Guys, I just remembered I didn't show you how much hair I was able to remove just by finger detangling that section. So this is how much I've lost. That's a month worth of hair just from one twist. So you can imagine how much I remove with all the 37 twists. So I don't think it's too bad. It's fair enough, you know. But yeah, that's from 1 month. And that was how much I was able to remove from finger detangling my hair. And it works. Give it a try. If it's not for you, that's fine. And just let me know what your favorite method of finger detangling is. No, of detangling is. Like, do you prefer Denman brush, tangle teaser, goodness, what else is out there? Wide tooth combs. What is your favorite method of finger detangling? Why do I keep saying that? Of detangling. And have you ever tried finger detangling? What did you think of it? All right, see you in the next one. Bye.